How's it going, guys? It's Adam here, and in today's video we're going to be doing a review of the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus in 2024. How does it hold up now? The iPhone 14 and 14 Plus were released back in 2022 of September, and when this released, more people were focusing obviously on the Pro series. However, in reality, most people are buying the base iPhone models. It's definitely interesting to look back on this iPhone and see how it holds up now. Without further ado, let's get on with this review of the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus. The iPhone 14 Plus in terms of design is pretty similar to the previous ones. For example, the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13, they're very similar to the iPhone 14 design. Now, this model is an iPhone 14 Plus, which does mean that it is a bit bigger than the other iPhone models that were before, such as the iPhone 13. The smaller version was the iPhone 13 mini. They discontinued the mini and decided to go with the Plus version. What I'll say about this design is that it's very consistent, but a bit boring, I guess, especially the color that I picked. I picked a purple thinking that it would be a lot more purple, I guess you could say, but it almost looks like a white in some situations. On the side, you got your power button. On the top, you got nothing. On the other side, you got your volume up and down and your ringer, and on the bottom, you got your lightning port as well as your bottom firing speaker. You also got your power button, the dual 12 megapixel cameras as well as an LED flash, and a microphone, the Apple logo, your front-facing camera, as well as a microphone. Oh yeah, and also your stereo speaker setup. There's another speaker up here. It is a pretty boring design, honestly. There's nothing too special about it, like I said, but it is pretty consistent. We got glass on the back, and we got aluminum on the sides, and we got glass on the front. Generally, you're probably going to want a case because it is kind of a slippery phone. But yeah, I guess I don't have too many complaints with the design, just besides the fact that it is a bit boring. Display, we got a Super Retina XDR OLED display that is HDR10 and generally gets to about 800 nits of brightness on the manual and about 1200 nits of brightness for peak, basically with auto brightness. The resolution of this display is a 1284 by 2077.8, and that is 458 ppi, and that means that it is pretty sharp. One of the biggest downsides though, honestly, is the 60 Hz panel. For this pricey of a phone, and it is definitely have gone down in price, and I will talk about that, but for this pricey of a phone of what it was listed for, the fact that there's no 60 Hz is kind of disappointing. But that's really like my only complaint. This is a very bright display. It can get ridiculously bright, like I said, 1200 nits. And since I have a 14 Plus, this is fantastic for watching content. This is a 6.7 inch display, and that means that watching YouTube videos and stuff like that is going to be great. Obviously, it's not going to be like a movie screen, but it's going to be almost feeling like an iPad because it's such a big display. As you can see, even zooming up close, it's a very sharp display. Besides this top notch, the bezels are also very, very thin, and I really have no problem even with the top bezel. With most YouTube videos, it basically blocks it out, you can't even see it, and honestly, it's pretty hidden, so no complaints. Overall, no complaints with this display. iPhone 14 has an A15 Bionic chip, which is almost the newest chip. It's not the newest, but it's the second to newest. We also got 6 gigabytes of RAM, and we start with 128 gigabytes of storage, which is such a relief. We also got the latest software, iOS 17.5.1, which is definitely good and expected. So how does this all perform? Well, see for yourself.
Changing mag! Cover me! Ah! Sniper eliminated!
Hunter killer drone ready for deployment. Friendly hunter killer drone deployed.
So overall, it doesn't even need to really be stated, but the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus have great performance, especially because of that 6GB of RAM and that A15 Bionic chip. It really is top of the line. And yeah, even though it's almost 2 years old, it is performing just as well as it did from day one. And the software is okay. Occasionally iOS will have some issues, like some bugs and stuff like that, especially with the weather app and a few other apps that I've kind of noticed, but it's not too big a concern. Oh, and also Safari. Safari sometimes can have some issues, but overall, it's not bad at all. Moving on to the next section. Got two 12-megapixel cameras on the back. Our main camera is a wide-angle camera, and it's 12 megapixels at f1.5. Then we got our ultra-wide camera, which is also 12 megapixels, has a 120-degree field of view, and is f2.4. These cameras can record 4K at 60 FPS. On the front, we got a 12-megapixel camera at f1.9. It can record 4K at 60 FPS. I've taken plenty of samples with this phone, so let me know what you guys think. Fantastic, and I really don't have any complaints with it. There's a lot of dynamic range, which I really like, and a lot of detail. So you can zoom in to like 2 times and still get a really clear shot. I guess if I had to nitpick at something, I guess there sometimes is some over sharpening, but besides that, it's really great. So overall, fantastic. Before I talk about whether you should buy this or not, I'm going to talk about the battery. So this battery is pretty great. Obviously, this is the 14 Plus that we're talking about, but honestly, the 14 Plus at least has some amazing battery. I'm not sure about the 14, but I'll say for the 14 Plus, it is about 8 hours of screen on time. I really don't have any complaints. So what do I think of this phone? Well, it kind of depends on the price. This is a fantastic phone either way, because there's nothing really wrong with it, but what I will say is that for the price of about $400 or $450, if you're finding it used, this is a great deal. However, what I will also say is that if you're finding it for over like $550, for example, it's not really worth it, and there's better options out there. For example, an older Pro iPhone, for example, like maybe the iPhone 13 Pro. But honestly, I don't really have any complaints with this phone. I've been using it for over a year now, and I have basically no problems besides the few that I did mention in this video. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, make sure to subscribe. It would really help out the channel, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.